Hey everyone, so now we're gonna have a chance to really take things to a whole other level, and it's gonna be a lot of fun because we're gonna be doing a dojo mission that will enable us to access even more things. So before I do the dojo mission and just get along and just keep chugging along, see what I gotta level up. I'm not sure. It's always safe to just level up whatever the heck you feel like at this point in the game. Again, 30 all stats is totally fine. And let's get to the dojo missions. As I said last time, I don't have enough proficiencies for these. There's lots of really cool tools there, but I'm going to focus more on combat stuff, and if I need to talk about anything involving the higher dojo missions for ninjutsu and magic, I'll deal with it on my main character, I think. But for now, let's do this Way of the Warrior Veteran. So we're going to fight this same guy again. I think his moveset's going to be very slightly different, or maybe not. I have no clue, but let's just kick his butt, knowing what we know. Unfortunately, we don't have yokai abilities that can help us, but we've got a weapon, and you can pick from any of the weapons, so that's nice. But I'm just going to stick with my sword. Also, if you didn't know, wooden weapons give you a lot more proficiency otherwise. So let's just kick his butt using what we know. Let's see what he's gonna do. Sword key, low stance, 1. We got parries now, so we can take advantage of that. Whoa! Night Rain. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. What you got? What you got? Let's just assess the situation. Flowing Shadow. I remember that from last time. Go, Sword of Discernment, be cheap. Alright, let's see what you got. Sword key. Ooh, Sword of Celerity, like me. Alright, let's do Sheath Cancel. Get that final blow. Sheath Cancel again. Look at that, so much damage. Alright, let's just regain our footing because we don't have yokai abilities to help mitigate any ki loss. Oh, he's blocking, so what can I do here? Alright, he's being his cheap old Morning Moon self. Alright, let's go in. Sort of discernment for the quick interrupt, which didn't work, but that's okay. Alright, Sheath Cancel time. And there we go. And let's get that good old HP down. No trouble so far. Let's see if I can get a timely guard off. Oh, nope. Come on, boy. Oh no! Alright, let's just heal up to be safe. Come on, try it again. Come on, man! Woo! That's actually probably the deadliest move. Alright, what you got? So I got that taken care of. And yeah, this guy's just ultimately going to take a bit of practice, but he's not too bad. Take it slow, there's no need to risk it for dojo missions anyway. But what's nice is that now... excuse me. What's nice is that now we have access to most of the moves with every single weapon possible. The exclusion is simply going to be the Mystic Arts. There are some weapons in which the Mystic Arts are going to have a huge impact compared to other ones. So I'll just briefly go over them. Now I got another Samurai skill point, I'll just get some life. Then in order to get the last life thing, I have to get that, which is fine. But now with Sword we have basically access to everything except the Mystic Arts. So Sword of Salvation, basically for the sword, reduces ki consumption when dodging and extends the window for a successful timely guard, which is great. Really awesome in my opinion. But many players, of course, are just going to just want more damage, so you've got this. If you're behind an enemy, you get to do more damage, and that's really good as well. But what's more important than just getting these Mystic Arts are all the skills that we now have that we can work with. So, for example, Blue Moon, which is, okay, I guess you can increase your attack power, but what's cool is that look what you can do now afterwards. After an you can do an Omni Slice after a fully charged Blue Moon. Actually, it doesn't have to be fully charged, but after you do Blue Moon, you can do Omni Slice, and it's really cool. We can now tap into, I guess, moves like Morning Light, but for me, I think a fantastic ability that will really highlight some skillful gameplay will be Flowing Shadow, because of its multi-use. And then what's also really cool is that now for Sword, we can take advantage of Night Rain, as that dojo boss did, and we can mess with Tiger Sprint, and we can, beforehand I could have gotten this, but I chose not to, but it's just really cool to be able to get so many of these abilities and not really have to worry about them being locked away. And then let me talk about Mystic Arts for weapons that I think will have the biggest impact. Let's just start with the sword. Swords ones I don't think have the most impact. You can honestly, you don't never really need to use them. They're more kind of luxury in my opinion. Fists, I think, is a bit more on the essential side. I think Unbowed is really good. Reduces your ki consumption as you connect skills, because fists eat up a lot of ki. So while you're connecting your skills and stacking all the unbroken stacks, having less ki consumption is great. Also, the other Mystic Art is also really good too. So if you fully recover ki from a ki pulse, you can keep the stacks going, which is also really good. So it's this Mystic Arts are a bit impactful. Spears aren't actually that important, especially since we've learned pre-shifting, so fluidity is really not that necessary, and stability is ultimately a great quality of life thing and is really helpful for the spear, but it is not the most necessary in my opinion. Axe's Mystic Arts are ultimately just a big power spike. Acidly boosts the damage you deal on the yokai realm. And then where's the other one? Intensity, again, is just a damage boost. Not the most interesting, in my opinion. Excuse me. Split Staffs actually do have a fairly valuable Mystic Art, so I am very partial, not so much to this one, which boosts damage. For me, anything that just boosts damage on its own isn't that big of a deal, so I don't care too much for this one. I personally find Law of Largesse, or Largesse, I don't know how to pronounce it, to be very valuable, because extra hits makes abilities like Shin Crusher 1 do a lot more ki damage if I'm not mistaken. So being able to do additional hits means more stagger, and that is awesome. But yeah, again, it's not the biggest of deals, but it helps. Kusarigama's Mystic Arts are actually fairly impactful and can be, in a way, almost game defining, because you get more attack damage and ki damage on either the weight or where's the sickle, or on the sickle. So if you have a preference for either side of the weapon, there's that. You can pick one, but eventually you'll be able to get access to things like Mystic Dyad anyway, in which you can get both Mystic Arts at the same time, so it's kind of redundant. Dual Swords has a pretty cool, actually some of the most effective Mystic Arts, just period. So you have the ability to greatly reduce your ki consumption. I think it goes down to like 50% reduction or something ridiculous. And then for more defensive players, take less damage. It's monumentally powerful, but again, not really necessary for our style of play at this time. But it's great for any time you decide to build, especially towards the late to end game. It's really great. Odachi, in my opinion, has a more impactful utility-based sort of Mystic Arts. So there's two of them. This one I like, Shifting Serenity, reduces ki consumption when performing either of the stance switching sort of abilities. It's pretty significant for a weapon that already consumes a lot of ki. This one is pretty good for all sorts of abilities in which you are just going to straight up power through your opponents. So abilities like Thunderbolts, of course, if you can tank the damage, you can mess enemies up. So it does kind of show you, it gives you a little taste of how to be aggressive, or to be aggressive, with the Odachi. One of the, I think the most impactful Mystic Art in the entire game is devoted to Tonfa. So Tonfa has two of them. We've got Apocalypse, which gives you basically more damage, so I don't really care about that. But Kanagi is absolutely monumental in terms of completely altering how you approach the Tonfa. The ability to just, by default, cancel out of a Tonfa technique by just pressing R1, just Demon Dance whenever you want during any of the skills, such as, say, let's see, where's Wild Lions? Wild Lions probably, where are you, Wild Lions? I don't know where you are. You're gonna show up? Where are you at? Oh, it's on this side. Being able to cancel out of Wild Lions' long animation is huge. All right, being able to do that. And then, because of the nature of Demon Dance, right, where you have pulverized follow-ups, you can basically chain like all sorts of animation cancels and do some crazy, absolutely wild cancels and animation dodges and all sorts of fun stuff with the Tonfa. So in my opinion, the most impactful Mystic Art in the game is Kanagi. Then we've got Switchglave, which I think, in my view, has one of the most impactful Mystic Arts. It's not so much for the fact that you can either increase the attack and get like 5 extra stacks. I think it goes up like 30% attack or something. Or even the fact that the key consumption, which in my opinion is awesome, you can reduce your key consumption a bunch. It's the fact that you get an extra attack. So whenever you get 5 stacks, you hold square to unleash a devastating strike upon the enemy, and it is really powerful. And it actually has parry frames, and the parry timing for that is, as you guessed it, the timely guard timing, the phantom burst counter timing. So I'll show this more in action when I deal with the Switchglave weapon guides, but it's a very impactful one. And then last but not least, we have Hatchets. Hatchets Mystic Arts they're cool, but they're not like the most amazing in terms of raw utility. The train throw gives you more damage if you correct time your charge throws, and then you don't have to worry about a distance penalty. Again, very helpful, great for quality of life, but again, not really necessary for what we're gonna do. So that's kind of my spiel upon that. Regardless, we're gonna have a ton to work with. So without further ado, let's get into this next main mission and let's just get the show on the road. Because now that we have access to all the skills, I think, excluding the Mystic Arts, now I think is the most appropriate time to actually introduce a second weapon. So this is going to start elevating things to a bit more difficult. And of course, with the second weapon, it's going to behoove us in general to have a good understanding of what weapons we're working with. So I'm going to start introducing a second weapon. And I have decided that I want the second weapon to be hatchets. So hopefully I have some. Can I get another pair of hatchets? Please? I don't care how weak it is. I mean, if it has to be the level 3s, then so be it. Are you... Oh, okay. Okay, almost had a heart attack. Okay. So I am actually going to be using hatchets as my secondary, and the reason for this is there are many different reasons, but for one, you start off with 3 skills in the very beginning. That's huge. Also, I'm going to show you some really cool tech that it plays off of the Sheath Cancel, and I will need to get Grease Lightning, and eventually I'll start getting all these other things to really amp up our play. So Hatchets right now has 3 skills. We've got a really strong throw and high stance that can pierce through multiple enemies when fully charged. Dual hurl can of course hit multiple targets when you fully charge it. The base charges on their own aren't that great, but you can upgrade these throws and there's a lot of cool things you can do. But I'm right now mostly interested in getting these other sheath abilities. So let's just get to work. Also, just a brief reminder for the Mystic Arts, you want 120,000 of your main weapon proficiency so that you can get it. So 120,000 is a magic number, and there is actually a side mission that is devoted to the dual swords getting Mystic Arts completed, so just bear that in mind. Alright, let me make sure all is okay before I continue through this level because it's gonna start getting a little wild. Alright, rare above. Titles, sweet. I will happily take that. Actually, did I get a better weapon? Okay, I just sorted by level. I'm guessing it's better. Sure. At this point, it don't matter. So let's just carry on. And I'm going to... At this point, I'm not really going to spend too much time, I guess, getting lost in a level as I normally do. Try to show you more combat-oriented things because now I think it's time. Now that we've got the Veteran Dojo mission, we can start messing around with stuff and go from there. Also, just like a quick general habit, I know I've talked about this before, but you might see me move around and you might see me doing this. It's just because I want to control which direction I dodge into, so I usually like to hold guard. I know I've talked about that before. But alright, doing the same old where I try to pick off a target that it's going to be more annoying. Oh, looks like we got this guy. Alright, come here. Okay, we got multiple guys. I usually like to take out the weaker one. Oh, come on. Okay, switch targets, I guess. Gonna do stuff? Fine. Yeah, I pre-shift a lot. Alright, let's switch to hatchets. Pretty cool. I want to definitely level up the hatchets actually right away. See how quickly I can get proficiency. 202. I think I had like 47 last time. All right. Really? Really? That's fabulous. Alright, well, let's just do standard attacks. Excellent! And now I can debut tech with hatchets right away. There's a bunch of tech I can show you with hatchets, but I'm just going to focus on this one for now. Grease Lightning. It is a very powerful sheathed ability. So here, check this out. I'm going to show you how you can... Actually, I'll just show you what I'm going to do and then tell you how to do it. So check this out. So Sheath Cancel, right? No big deal. Cool, huh? I did 2 sheathed abilities back to back. So what the heck was going on? And keep in mind, I don't have EI Quick Draw 3, so something's going on here. So what am I doing and how am I doing it? So let's pull out the sword first. All right. Standard affair, sheathing, doing an attack, right? Now, what I am doing is sheathing my weapon, all right? Swapping weapons, and then holding it down for the sheath attack. All right, so let me do it a little faster. Okay. So it's kind of like I sheath my weapon, so sheath swap, all right? Look how quickly I can swap my weapons, right? No big deal, that's pretty standard, not really complicated. So because your secondary weapon is sheathed, you can basically almost trick the game into starting a sheathed attack. So again, sheath switch. And see, normally your character wants to pull out the weapon, but I'm like, no, don't pull out the weapon. Just do the attack for me. So I'm basically pressing R1, then circle, and then since R1 designates that I can also switch weapons if I have right, for me it's right on the D-pad. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's gonna be down or something, but I can switch my weapons and see, I'm not pulling it out now, no matter what. This is actually another sheath cancel technique, by the way. So yeah, pretty cool. So we're gonna mess around with this, and I'm also going to show you the value of not necessarily going all out when it comes to sheath attacks. You don't always have to charge them out. So check this out. Let's. Cool, huh? Really neat, right? Look at that. Just used 2 moves and obliterated that chump. Alright, what do we got? So, okay. What's this here? Beaten to death by a Gaki? This better not be a Gaki. It's a Gaki, dude. Screw you. Here, take that. Cool. Kinda cool, huh? Oh, I need damage numbers on. I keep forgetting. But really cool to have that type of tech involved. Certainly adds an extra dimension to gameplay, which is straight up exciting. And what's nice is that since... Did I get another point? No, I'm pretty close to getting another point though. But since we already have so much proficiency in our sword, our hatchet's proficiency is going to go up too. And those early points, and now that we can spend them freely where we want, it's just going to make the process of incorporating another weapon that much more fun. Pick whatever weapon you want, but again, I just picked hatchets because they're cool for me. Alright, let's see what we got. Hey. Hey, get over here. Alright, let's see how this works. Oh, murdered! I also love the sheathing animation for the hatchets, throwing that blood away. Alright, what do we got? Pick off this straggler. Yo, what's up? Come here, come here. Let's be cool. So yeah, it's just simple muscle memory, you'll get it. Yeah, it's just like R1 circle and then switch. Just hold R1 down the whole time. So key pulse, the sheath on key pulse, switch weapons. Not too bad. Alright, we got more things we could play around with. Now this is where it's going to get even crazier. Boulder Breaker is a lot of fun. These charged abilities are a lot of fun too. But I am so tempted to go straight for this, I have to admit. Yeah, that's like really cool. Boulder Breaker is really, really good. And I will put it in, I think I'll just do it as I do on my normal character. I will have Boulder Breaker in low stance. So here, check this out. So if this is where the concept of pre-shifting and really developing that muscle memory is going to be so important. Alright, so sheath, right? So I can check that out. Okay, I need to break it down. So I'm in mid stance, right? Doing quick draw. Sheath on key pulse, switch stances, switch weapons. You can also do it again when animations are playing out. And honestly, that might be easier. So I know I'm committed to that animation, so I can switch over to mid stance if I want to do a quick draw. This is, again, just going to require a lot of heavy muscle memory. Oh yeah, by the way, this Gaki's going to be a jerk. Dude! Here. Hey, I am not cool with that. Oh right, I forgot. I did buy flash attack? I did? Yeah, flash attack. Now it's even greater time to use this too. Because you can swap weapons fairly fluidly, and if you're concerned about the animation, guess what? Ow! That's not what I meant! But if you're concerned about the animation of anything, don't forget you always have yokai abilities, which are fabulous, and you should totally abuse them. That's what they're there for. So let's demonstrate this. Oh, well, he's dead. So yeah, you can really sequence things together, and it makes gameplay that much more fluid. So embrace the secondary weapon. Now is a great time to do so, since hopefully you've gotten more or less comfortable with the first weapon that you're using. And as for what weapons pair, it really just depends on a matter of preference. I've seen all sorts of combinations, and truth be told, with 11 different weapon types, you got 55 unique types of pairs you can work with. So I like sword hatchets, I like dual swords hatchets, I like pretty much anything with hatchets. I seem to use axe and hatchets together. Like, it's really just up to you. Each weapon has a unique function, and it's, again, I know this will be more apparent with the weapon guides, but it's really just up to you to see, hey, I like the role that this weapon fulfills versus, say, this other role that this weapon does not fulfill. And you can swap them out freely as you see fit. On my main character, I actually have developed pretty much every single weapon. So I'm just going to table it here for right now. There's a lot of information that I covered, and I want to make sure that we're good to go as we continue progression through this level. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys. When will I see you? Next. I don't know. Let's just do more emotes. I'll see you guys next time.